That is you wanting the change. That is you seeing your potential. That is you having the vision, and you know you can have it. Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. You know what I was thinking about? You know what I was thinking about? Because you know there's like a YouTuber thing where you always start videos with like the super high energy, like, hey y'all, it's Chimdi. And I was like, what if I just started just like really smooth, just really like smooth and calm, and was like, hey. Hey y'all, it's me. It's Chimdi. Unrelated but related. I'm in love with Hosier right now, and I watched this compilation on TikTok. I'm on TikTok, but not really. I watched this compilation on TikTok, and it was just Hosier being like, hey. So I was just like, and I loved it. It made me so happy. Well, just to say, hey, it's Chimdi. In this video, I'm gonna be responding to a comment from the lovely Soleil, and she was asking me to reflect on stepping out on faith. And she was saying like,
girl, you quitting your job and just relying on your talents, is that not the biggest act of faith that we have ever seen?
And I was like, in my spirit, I mean, I'm pretty talented, so I don't think it was that dramatic. I think I knew it'd be fine, but I would happily make a video about stepping out on faith. I also let her know that I have made a series of follow-up videos to that whole I quit video. So if you didn't know that, I will include a link to the playlist so you can go ahead and see all of my various updates on this journey. So before we get into it, of course, Patreon people, literally, thank you so freaking much. I love you. You're the best. Thank you. I'm a creative coach, so if you want some support showing up consistently and authentically so you can grow your audience and grow a beautiful community and get cool sponsorships and get cool creative opportunities, I'm your girl. You can put some time on my calendar in the link in my description. And thank you, subscribers, for hanging out with me every week. We love it. We love the support. Okay, let's get into this video about stepping out on faith. I'm just gonna readjust my scarf because it's starting to fall. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. This is actually the second video I've recorded this afternoon. I just changed my outfits. So it looks like I'm coming from a different space. And honestly, I don't know if anyone cares. I think that's the kind of thing that YouTube creators do, and no one's ever really checking for what you're wearing. They really just want to see your content, unless you, of course, are like a fashion vlogger. One thing that has been on my spirit to talk about in terms of stepping out on faith, and I was feeling it so viscerally a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I don't know if I have done justice to this experience for the people who have watched my videos and have been inspired to leave situations like their jobs or whatever else and be with a new chapter in their life. And that is how visceral and intense and prolonged the fear is even after you make the jump. There's a reason we stay where it's comfortable, even if we're deeply unhappy. Even though it sucks, it's familiar. We know what to expect. Being in the unknown, there's a reason why people are like, no thanks. It is so freaking scary. It's so genuinely scary. It speaks to like the nature of fear, where sometimes fear is because of something that's happening externally, and that's when it's an appropriate response. But a lot of the times our fear is emotional and it's psychological, and it's not actually tied to our life experience. It's tied to the stories we're telling and our past experiences that we haven't been able to process and let go. And so what this whole chapter has been really showing me has been all of this fear that's been in my system that I am now ready to release, process and release. I also think with fear, of course, it's my personal history, but we know we're in a collective that's experienced a lot of fear. And so I know it's not just my own personal fear, but also the collective fear around being in the unknown, because to be alive is to be in the unknown. And whenever we think about it even a little bit too long, it starts getting very scary, and we're like, let me go ahead and start a job or like do something to keep my mind busy instead of be with like the existential fear of like being on this planet. I just want to name that. It's been a couple of years at this point, you know, and there is still a visceral sense of fear. And it's not all the time, but I do think it is humming, you know, and then there's like waves when it really becomes like a major thing that I have to deal with and process before I'm kind of back to my like, you know, equilibrium of joy. So I just want to name that. Like, it is very, 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 very scary, and you are right to be scared. If you're scared? You're right to be scared. It's scary. But the fear isn't because of the life. It's the fear that's already in you that you'll now be facing. And that's the other thing I want to point out is, you know, I had a life back in 2017 that was very, very stable. Like I had a good job. I was making good money. I had a partner. I had my own apartment. I was healthy. Like truly things were fine. And what I've been realizing as I look back on the last 6 or so years is that the point, the point of life is not to stay still and reach a point where you stop. The point is the walk. It is to be like, all right, what's next? And to explore and to grow and to expand. And so what I see is that I was at a point of stability in my life while carrying a bunch of stuff that I had not processed and I had not addressed. And that meant that I was living my life, but a really small amount of me was actually present living it. The rest of me was busy not addressing all of the stuff that I didn't want to deal with. Like so much of my energy was spent not feeling all of these uncomfortable feelings. And I knew, and I think that's the nature of being alive, that's the nature of our higher selves, of our spirit. I knew that I want to live a full life. I want to be all the way here. I want to be in my full expression. I want to bring as much light from my soul down into this world. Like that's the point, right? And so if I'm in a situation that is keeping me stagnant, I am going to blow it up so that I can go on this journey and reach this expansion that my soul wants to experience. And that's what I realized I did. I signed up for remote year and I went from having never, I think I'd left the country twice maybe. I went from that to traveling all over the world and visiting 4 continents and like 20 something countries and like having all of these wild new experiences. I ended the relationship I was in. I moved to LA, moved to New York. I quit the job. I shaved my head. I got eye surgery. I did all of these really wild things that truly, if you had asked me then, I would have said that I was like, no, I'm fine, happy, content living this very straightforward, simple life. And I actually was hanging out with Jim Rohn just for a little bit. I don't love his energy, but just for a little bit, he really helped me out. He was referencing how, you know, if we want to change our life, we have to change ourselves, obviously. And if we want our next 6 years to be different than our last 6 years, then we have to change. Otherwise, we'll literally be taking the past and putting it in front of us. And I do believe that in general, but what that invitation helped me look at was actually my last 6 years have been wild. Like my last 6 years started with me launching this YouTube channel. So all of the things that have happened in my life, literally everything you've ever seen of me has happened in these last 6 years. And so many things have happened that I could not have imagined. And if I were to experience them again, even on a similar scale, not even on an expanded scale, if I were to just experience what I've already experienced again, that would be intense. Like that would be a lot, right? And so that was really affirming for me because it showed me that I am the kind of person who is willing to be with the courage and be with the fear and not run away from it. And I think a really helpful thing is to see in your experience how much better your life can be. If you've only experienced stepping out on faith and it ending, in your opinion, really badly for you, of course you're not gonna do it again. Like what? That's just wise. It's smart of you to not do it again if it's only ended badly. And I think what's been a real blessing for me is that I have so many experiences of me saying, you know what, this is scary, but I'm gonna take this step. And it ended up being one of the best decisions of my life. Like there are so many things. I feel like with getting eye surgery, people are commenting all the time like, hey girl, I just signed up for PRK. And I'm like, great, one of the best decisions of my life. And they're like, oh, I just signed up for remote year. And I'm like, great, one of the best decisions of my life. Like there's so many things that truly have been such a blessing to me. And because I have that felt embodied sense of like, okay, this is scary, but if I do it, the chances are it's gonna be beautiful. That's what really helps me step out on faith. Another insight that's been really helpful for me, and I feel like it fits within the context of this video, is, you know, when we think about stepping out on faith, it's because we wanna have certain experiences that we believe will make us feel a certain way, probably really fulfilled or seen or known or valued or whatever else, right? But we want the experience to give give us that thing. And what I've been realizing as I have been stepping on faith and accumulating all of these really incredible experiences is that truly when we talk about like manifestation, I connect to the energy and the feeling first, and then it shows up. And that means when it does show up, it's not that big of a deal. You know, like there have been things I've experienced where I've been like, truly, this is so freaking cool. There's even a bit of like, I kind of can't believe I'm here. Like I kind of can't believe that like this worked out for me to be here, whatever else. But it never feels like out of this world. Like it never feels crazy. I'm like, it makes sense, you know? Like this matches, you know? And so what I think is a story that our world tells us is that we need to have the experience in order to feel the feelings. And I think that's literally the exact opposite, and not understanding that keeps us stuck. Because what I have done and consistently do is connect to gratitude, connect to appreciation, connect to the feeling of support, connect to the feeling of being valued and witnessed and honored and all of these things. And then it shows up in my life. And when it shows up, it isn't this thing that overwhelms me, because I've actually already been with the feeling and now it matches. When it comes to something like quitting a job or leaving a relationship or moving to a new city, something that feels like it's our calling and our purpose, and to do it would be to step out on faith. I think when you connect to what the actual feeling will be of whatever that experience is, it'll happen in a way that's very organic and synchronicity, you know, synchronicitous. That feels close, but I don't think that's quite the word. What I've also found, this has been my experience, is that the lesson I've been learning with God has been around gentleness, has been around, instead of me from this place of trauma having all this urgency and we gotta go, we gotta do it, go. This sense of like, take a breath. And things will calmly fall into place. And that's truly been a lesson for me, of course, because we want things now. And it's been really beautiful how consistently I've been shown that the journey is a gentle one, and all of the disruption is internal disruption. And I feel like I'm also constantly surprised by how much of the journey is internal. So many of the things I've gotten to experience and the people I've gotten to meet and the things I've learned and all these things, you know, they were never really outside of the realm of possibility. Not really, obviously, because I experienced them. It was just a matter of, do I think I can have these things? Will I let myself have these things? Will I be with the feeling of what it was like to not get these things when I was younger and I really wanted them and really needed them and they were not in my experience, and how painful that was? And that's really all that I think my spirit wants me to do, is to stop holding on to the pain. So I think when you're called to step out on faith, that's your spirit saying, hey, it's time to let go of things that don't serve you. And that's you. That's what I notice when I do my process work. I'll create/witness these splits that I have in myself. There's me, and then there's this other me, you know, but it's not me, it's an other. I mean, it's technically me, but it's not me. There's an other part of me. And then the process of healing is that these parts become one again, and then I become all me, talking from the same place, you know, saying the same message. When we consider that we are being called to do something, we can sometimes externalize it like, oh, this other is saying that I have to do this thing, but I don't want to because it's really scary, but I have to, like all this stuff. And it's like, that's you. Like that is you saying that. That is you wanting the change. That is you seeing your potential. That is you having the vision, and you know you can have it. And so it's about actually letting yourself prove yourself right. And so that's been what I've been experiencing lately. It's truly been evolving month after month, day after day, you know, year after year. And I really wanted to emphasize, like I said, that fear part, because I really don't know if I've emphasized that enough. Like, I think I have the kind of channel where I speak so joyfully so often, and I think I have a really high energy often. And so I'll reference things like, oh, I'm doing all this weeping and all this sobbing, but I'm just saying it like you don't actually see me going through it. So I think sometimes it can be, I don't know if it's really landing, like the intensity of the experience, but I just want to name it so that you aren't surprised and that you don't think you're alone in it. You know, that's, I think, the best part about YouTube, is that we really feel like we are sometimes living these really individual experiences, and no one understands us, and no one sees us, and no one gets us. And then you watch a YouTube video and homegirl is like, girl, I've been doing the same thing. And you're like, oh, okay, well then cool. You know, then it's not a problem, you know, that we can rock with it, you know? So yeah, that's what I want to share, Soleil. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if there's something you want me to chat about. I've been doing this thing lately where I'm just making videos in response to people's comments. So I gotta say, very convenient, very easy for me in terms of idea generation to just be like, what does that person want? Great. Here's 15-20 minutes on it. Enjoy. Let me know what you think. On to the next. Makes it very easy. All right. I love you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, bye.